my next anime review, I'm doing Tojima Wants to Be a Kamen Rider. This anime is done by Linden Films and it is rated TVMA. When I was first watching this series and I first did a video on it, I believe it was back when I first did my compilation video. I think it was then, but I was talking about how I was a bit worried. Despite how good the show started out, I could see that the comedy and the aspects of the show could get stale if they didn't vary things up or bring in other elements to counteract and actually make things entertaining. That was one of my main worries. Thankfully, they did do that. They do bring in enough stuff to keep you entertained, and for the most part, the pacing is very good. The only parts that I think the pacing really do suffer is between episode 10 and 15, I believe. And that is also a portion of my least favorite part of the anime. That is the area where I believe that's where the show goes into a overweight idol character, and where one of the main villains has a interest in her. That whole portion is probably my least favorite. I understood where they were going with it. Honestly, just that portion just didn't really go anywhere. Other than one of the main villains having a different understanding on humanity. The other aspects I really liked about this season was it was nice and meaty. A nice 24 episode long season. Although I do feel like they could have removed a couple episodes to help with the pacing of the season, but that's just a personal little pet peeve of mine. Thankfully, the good really outweigh the negatives for this season. The best parts of this season is definitely the comedy. It varies up enough and it keeps things engaging to where I laughed quite a bit in this show. I found several aspects quite funny, especially with the interactions between Yuriko, Mitsuba, Tojima, and Shimura. I found those aspects when they're overreacting with things. I found that quite humorous. Other aspects I really liked about the show is the fighting is awesome. It's got each punch. It really feel like there's a lot of weight behind these punches. It is over the top ridiculous, and I enjoyed it to its fullest. This is definitely one of those shows that if you are turned off by a lot of over-the-top humor, especially Japanese style over-the-top humor, a lot of yelling, screaming, you will probably be turned off by this show completely. And you know what? That's fine. This show just isn't for you then. But for people who can get past certain things in the show, you'll find a fairly well-written, enjoyable action comedy. I am a bit sad that it has ended, but I can always eventually just rewatch this again at some point or buy it on Blu-ray, which I will probably at some point do that. But yeah, if you enjoy some over-the-top action, some absolutely can be cringy comedy, if you can withstand some of the ridiculous that Japanese entertainment brings to the table, especially something like this show is just full-on Japanese, and I love it for it. Oh, and something I will say, if you are a fan of the old Kamen Rider Japanese TV show, I think you'll really enjoy getting a kick out of this. This show has so much fan service for Kamen Rider and, you know, the other type of fan service. I enjoyed those aspects of the show as well. I found whenever, especially early on, whenever Yuriko was changing into her costume as Tackle, I always found the reaction when people's reaction to what she's doing hilarious. And Yoroko was continuingly to be my favorite of the season. If you have not watched Tojima Wants to Be a Kamen Rider, I can recommend, because this show was really good. I really enjoyed it. And with all that said, my final score for Tojima Wants to Be a Kamen Rider is a very solid 8 out of 10. I really can't go up to 9. At some points, I was thinking about giving this season a 9, but after thinking about it and after it's all said and done, this show does definitely have some issues that definitely dock some points away for me. But regardless, it's a very solid 8, and I enjoyed this show very much. And honestly, I would love to get a season 2. Anyway, let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments down below. I would love to hear them if you've been watching Tojima Wants to Be a Kamen Rider, or if you have not watched it yet, or if you read the manga. Let me know down below. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. This is my Rider. I'm out.